this is Dodger and you're watching my show.
Three, two, one, ready, go.
I gotta be straight up with you, it is Monday right now. It is not Sunday. I am filming this on Monday because I'm the worst. Also, there are lawnmowers outside. Reasons to do things on the days you say you're gonna do them, because maybe the next day it'll turn out that everybody's getting their garden did. For our first piece of news, if you have not seen Power/Rangers, which is a short film about Power Rangers, you might not ever be able to. I think right now the only place that you can watch it is on Facebook. It started on Vimeo, it got taken down from Vimeo, and then it went on YouTube, got taken down from YouTube, and now I think Facebook is really the only place where they're willing to fight the good fight. So this video is kind of a dark, gritty version of Power Rangers, which everybody loves to do. Dark, gritty versions of playful child things. Those are like one of our favorite genres right now. But this video was made not for profit. They're not planning on kickstarting it. Nothing. It was literally just, they put money forth, they made a video, and then they put it out into the world for free. They were like, here you go, here's a fun thing we made. So SABAN did not like that at all, has been DMCAing everywhere that they find the video, being like, take this down, it is in violation, that is our intellectual property. And meanwhile, Joseph Kahn and the whole team that made this video are saying, well, but fair use, right? Like, this is obviously satirical. It is not pretending to be the original thing, and we are not selling it. And depending on who you are, you sit on one side or the other. Some people say, I totally see from SABAN's point of view, especially when there have been rumors for a while now that they are going to be making a new Power Rangers movie. They don't want that sort of confusion with their brand, right? But things like parody and satire have been in kind of a gray area for a while now. Like, nobody really knows how to squeak by in a court of law. Like, what do you have to do specifically to convince everybody this is totally fine? I liked it. I thought that it was cool. As a person who grew up with the Power Rangers, I'm not confused about whether or not this is the real Power Rangers. But companies do have to think about what affects their brand in positive or negative ways. So even though you could argue, well, this video is making people think about Power Rangers again, there are probably plenty of people who watched this video and said, man, I really want to watch Power Rangers, and sat down to watch it. Like, it's on people's minds, so that's a positive thing. However, if they're planning on their new movie, their rumored new movie that is official Power Rangers, if they're planning on using that to bring in sort of this younger generation that didn't grow up with Power Rangers, then they're not going to want parents associating the dark, gritty version with their version. But then again, like, the parents right now are around my age. Like, we all grew up with Power Rangers. We all know what Power Rangers is, right? So, I don't know. You can argue one way or the other for sure. I love short fan films like that because most of the time, they're gonna get a lot of things right that Hollywood is not gonna get right. Like the Dragon Ball Z thing. Okay, so there's a Dragon Ball Z short film that came out on Machinima as well. And specifically, I would say, like, I didn't care too much for the acting or the writing, like, but the actual fights looked incredible, like amazing. And with something like Dragon Ball Z, if you're in the middle of a fight, you can argue, well, the fighting is the most important part. Like, make sure that the fights look so cool, and man, they did. Anyway, I understand both sides. I do think at this point the film should be allowed to just stay up, mostly because right now, SABAN is just looking like a bunch of babies because everybody wants to watch this film and they keep going places and going, oh, I guess it's not here either. And the only person that they have to blame, or the only company that they have to blame, is SABAN. So in the end, even though you could say, people are talking about Power Rangers, a lot of people are also talking about Power Rangers in a, man, SABAN is like, there it is, throwing a fit. Are you one of those people who saw the PS4 that was in the style of old PlayStation stuff and just went, man, I want that so bad? So late last year in Japan, Sony did a contest and they real messed it up. The contest was basically, if you buy a PS3 or a PS4 or a Vita or like any of our new-ish consoles, you will be entered into a contest. Like, you have to go and you know, apply yourself and all of that stuff. But you have the ability to be entered into a contest where we are going to do a giveaway of one of these very special PS4s. And like, we get to see some of the cool PS4s, but let's be honest, we don't get to see all of them. It's just like with the 3DSs, where we're like, oh man, there are so many cool 3DSs. But if we were in Japan, it would be like, how do I hold all of these cool 3DSs? So like I said, contest was held late last year. They had all of the details, and then they lost all of it. But the fact of the matter is, in a big company, and the bigger you get, the more often this has the possibility of happening, the more that things like that just occur, you have to look at it from the perspective of teams. Teams at a business, right? There are all of these teams who are told, this is your job, this is what you do. One team is communicating with another team, which is communicating with another team, and of course, the bigger that you get, the more teams there are. So obviously, in a small company, things like that are not going to happen as often because everybody knows what this is. Everybody knows what this is for, and everybody knows, do not delete that. Whereas at a big company, you are giving instructions to another team, and then doing whatever your team continues to do and hoping that everybody else does their job, right? So you could say, how on earth did all of this data just vanish? And the fact of the matter is, the company probably has no idea who did it, what happened, where the miscommunication was. Who knows? And some of you may be thinking, well, they could have totally gotten away with this, right? Like, only a couple of people were gonna win. They could have just fictioned up a name and just said, this guy won. Sorry, you all lost. But fortunately, Sony is being the good guy here, and they are letting people submit for a second time. So second time's a charm. Hopefully people will get cool PS4s and stuff won't get deleted. Ah! So if you played Shadow of Mordor and you played it all the way through to the end, you know that the end was a little bit anticlimactic. We've had 2 DLC packs so far. We've had Lord of the Hunt and we've had the Bright Lord, right? And both of those DLC packs have come with this weird air of like, maybe this'll fix the end. Maybe this way it won't feel so much like you worked real hard for nothing. Maybe that'll get fixed. Unfortunately, it's sounding like even with Bright Lord, everything is still just a little bit underwhelming, which is so disappointing because Shadow of Mordor was one of those games where everybody was saying, God, this is so fun. This is just such a great experience. Like, the AI is really interesting. The way that the game works is so fun and different. And yet, the ending was just meh. And then they add in these 2 DLC packs, and both times people were playing them and going, meh. I just don't understand where that rush of creativity came from in one aspect of the game, and then in terms of like the actual story and how it plays out, it's just so lackluster. You're even fighting Sauron. Like, how is that not an awesome fight? Like, how do you mess that up? Sauron, Smurfs Pups. Oh no, I spilled tea on myself. I didn't know. Anyways, despite all of these good, awesome elements to the game, it's sounding like the general feel is, don't bother. Don't bother playing it. Just, you'll be wasting your time, so read a book instead. Resident Evil Revelations 2 came out and a lot of people were excited for that game. One problem that has happened is in the description for the PC version of this game. It said local co-op. And everybody said, cool, local co-op. Unfortunately, it was apparently written there in error. There is no local co-op. And they had to write a big old apology and be like, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. But it's not just the fact that it was written in the actual description for the game, it's also the fact that we were promised it for so long. That Capcom, once again, was like, all this stuff. And then once the game came out, it was, well, you still get this? Fortunately, trust in the modding community to figure their stuff out. There's a guy named Fluffy Quack who made a mod for the game that adds in local offline co-op. See, was that so hard, Capcom? I'll put a link in the description because there is actually a guide on how to install it and apply it to the game because that's not something that's super intuitive. But I totally understand why people are frustrated. Like, being promised something like that and then having the game come out as an episode. So we got episode 1 of Resident Evil Revelations 2, right? They said local offline co-op or local co-op and it wasn't there. And then within not that much time, a modder was like, here you go, Like, was that so hard? Like, I don't understand. Why did that have to be omitted? I literally can't wrap my mind around it if somebody was able to mod it that quickly. And again, it's not like this is a perfect mod. This is like a first crack at it, but that means that who knows how much time until they've got a perfect mod for it, and it works totally fine. And go ahead, play with your friends, local co-op. I'm just really starting to resent when a company says, you're gonna get all of this, and then we don't get it. And then it's proven that there was a weird list somewhere. Somebody made a weird list that was like, all right, when we have to start cutting stuff, this is what we're gonna cut. But with just a little bit more effort, it could have been added in. Maybe you would have had to delay the game, but at least we would have gotten what we were told we were gonna get.